When I go home, and this kid, from the West Bank.
You're tuning into Black and White Sports on YouTube. The no-holds-barred truth on sports. The main event starts.
All right, Black and White Sports supporters. Well, a lot of people don't remember this. I can remember when Ryan Clark was just starting at ESPN in the media. Mike and Mike was still on in the mornings. And Ryan Clark would come on their show to do analysis. I can't remember. He might have even been still playing with the Steelers. I'm not sure. I can't remember if he was coming on there like right after the season ended or when the playoffs started. I can't remember. But he was just starting. And believe it or not, Ryan Clark wasn't too bad as an NFL analyst back in those days. This was before ESPN became about race. And everything was about skin color or sexual preference. This before ESPN really went woke. He never talked about skin color, race, none of that bullshit. It wasn't in his commentary. And then, of course, Ryan Clark went berserk when ESPN flipped the switch on being a social justice channel instead of a sports channel. Ryan Clark said, oh, shit, I can make this about being black. I can make this all about race. And ESPN will celebrate me for it. Well, now Ryan Clark is claiming he was fired because he was too black. And he's crying. Just yesterday, I did a video where Nick Bosa gave the A-OK thumbs up because Ryan Clark had went after him because he wore a MAGA hat. And yeah, Nick Bosa did a victory lap after ESPN fired. I have never seen a celebration of somebody's termination like with Ryan Clark. Why? Because people just want to watch ESPN for sports. Believe it or not that long ago, 8-10 years ago, ESPN was still about sports. I remember being able to turn on Sports Center in the mornings, just let it play. Or believe it or not, turn on Stephen A. Smith and Skip Bayless go to war with each other and skin color never get brought up. That was actually a thing. And it was Skip versus Stephen A. was great television. It was must see every morning because it was about sports. Oh shit, they're going to argue about the Cowboys again. Here comes Stephen A. wearing the cowboy hat out. And you're going to laugh your ass off because Stephen A.'s over the top. And so Skip, because he loves the Cowboys. But ESPN flipped the narrative in there, and they wanted to. And at some point, we were all hoping ESPN would course correct. Are they going to get out of this business? I brought this up yesterday. They fired Ryan Clark. Mike Golick is back. I don't know. Trey Wingo's created his own platform. I don't know that he'd want to come back. Maybe Stink will come back. Maybe Mark Schlereth will come back. But ESPN looks like they're trying to course correct and get back into the business of it just being about sports. Well, now Ryan Clark is saying he was too black, and he's crying about it. Crying about being fired. You did this to yourself by not keeping it about football, bro. I remember when you actually just talked about football. Nah. You said, oh, no. Certain side of the aisle wants me this way. Let me steer myself to the cause, to the message. Let's go.
You know, man, like this show, for 3 years, bro, we never shied away from any topic. Right. We never shied away from tackling anything. We did this year because I knew I couldn't have no beef. I knew I couldn't respond to disrespect, right? I knew, for lack of a better word, I couldn't be too black. What makes me sad is, even in trying to adjust to be at least more of what certain people wanted, they still fired me.
ESPN, think about this. They told him, we don't want this crap anymore. And that was a problem for this guy. And ESPN obviously knew it was a problem for him. So they let him go. They didn't want him poisoning the waters anymore. You're trying to course correct. Yeah, you got to get this guy out of the building.
To bed. I wasn't laid off. I was fired. Right? They're using layoffs as a cover and a camouflage for what they already intended on doing. But there was no cause for it, right? So because there was no cause for it, you couldn't just fire me, so you had to wait to the layoff so you could camouflage it and veil it, right? But here's the other thing. If I was laid off, like everybody else, they came out on Tuesday. Mine came out on Friday.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a corporate move. If we think you're going to be I was an operations manager in corporate. If we thought you was going to be a troublemaker, I'd fire your ass on Friday afternoon. Give you a couple of days to cool off. That was a thing.
When I go home, and this kid, from the West Bank, is like so accepted in New Orleans now. Like, I wouldn't change that. Never. Like, all I ever wanted to do was be accepted. And want it. So yeah, like that, I wouldn't change. If you ask me, probably the first, Monday of football, when all my friends get to do something we did super special together, yeah, I'd probably change it. I'd probably work harder to when I
Crying. You did it to yourself, bud. I've got no sympathy for this guy at all. None. My estimation of Ryan Clark as a man has fucking plummeted. To cry like a woman. Even Cinderella didn't cry. Good God. Men cry for lost loved ones, kids making you proud, daughter's wedding, something of honor like an Arizona memorial, raising of the flag, fallen comrade, friend, maybe a goodbye to a team you worked and served a long time with. Men never cry over self-pity, ever. That's damn good. There's no crying in journalism. Ryan Clark was nothing more than a race baiter. Soft. Yeah. Beta. Crocodile tears. He knew they was looking at him like a damn fool. Yeah, they were Channing Crowder and who was that? Who was that other guy? Is that CC? No, it ain't. Right? I don't even know who that other host is. For sure. I mean, it looked like CC Sabathia, but I can't be going crazy, right? No, I don't watch and listen to the pivot. Can you imagine forcefully put yourself through added extra? I didn't have enough Ryan Clark this week. I'm going to do that. ESPN should not be done. They got some ones covering the WNBA. They need to get out of there. Monica McNutt. And then you've got Mina Kimes that needs to hit the bricks too. It is what it is, man. They said we've had enough. We've watched our ratings plummet. And that's the thing. Their ratings had plummeted. At some point, somebody with business sense is going to draw the line and say, we can't keep doing this. And now you got him crying racism, literally. Man, get the fuck out of here with that. Tell me what you think. Peace. I'm out. Till next time.
Thanks for watching the show. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to tune in next time on Black and White Sports.